Hi there, so today I have some info for you, and this is going to be my 5 best tips for creating online courses. So the way I make my living is by teaching online courses, leading a women's mentorship group called the Goddess Glow Mentorship Program, which is online, also hosting the occasional retreat and workshop. And my living is such that the living I make is such that I can travel often. I also can buy pretty much whatever I want. So I don't really think about these things in terms of numbers, because depending on where you live, it might be more or less expensive to live. A lot of places, like for instance, a lot of bigger cities, you make more money there, but it's also more expensive to live there. So it ends up being about the same depending on what you would do in a small town. So the way that my life works is I live in a house that I like, that feels abundant to me. I make enough money to travel often and to buy pretty much whatever I want. Okay, so that said, first tip for creating online courses is determine your qualification. This does not necessarily mean that you have a college degree in what it is that you want to teach. Now, I got a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Central Florida. I got a master's degree in health science and education from the University of Florida. Then I got another master's degree from the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology and Transpersonal Studies. And I quit school 3 months before graduating with my PhD in transpersonal psychology. So I have been around academia, okay? I know what it means. And I've also taught from infancy. I've been a doula and nannied up till all of the grades. I've taught every single grade. And I have also taught college, and now I teach people up till their 60s. I don't necessarily think that anyone in their 70s and older has been in my classes, but I've taught the whole range. And I've taken lots of classes, so I can say, just because you have a degree in something, a lot of degrees are taken after just a few of the actual classes focusing on the thing that the degree is in. So you don't necessarily need to go to a university to get enough of a degree to teach what it is that you want. Now, to know whether or not you're qualified, I would say that if you have spent time info binging, researching stuff and trying it out for about a year, give or take, then you probably have enough info to teach a class. If you are someone who your friends come to for advice on something or for some little talent you have or bit of info that you probably know enough to teach a class. Also, if this is your passion, now that's a super important thing. Don't do this just to make money. If you do it just to make money, it's probably not going to work, honestly, straight up. That's how I live my life. If I ever try to do anything just for the dollars, it never really works. It has to be because it's coming from my heart. And if you have something coming from your heart, it's coming from your heart because the universe wants it from you. So there are people out there who are probably literally praying that they get this information from somewhere. So why not it be you if you have it? Now, if you want to teach a course online, which is what this is really about, this video, you are going to be teaching people who are choosing to not take it from a university. So you're going to be doing different things than what would be done in a university or classic education setting. So that's one. Determine if you're qualified. If you feel a passion for this, if you studied it for about a year, if you have tips that no one else has, or that maybe other people do have because you had to learn them somewhere but aren't all in one spot, then you're qualified. You're not necessarily teaching people stuff they couldn't find. Every single thing I teach, you could go to the library and do internet searches and watch documentaries and try stuff out yourself and learn all of it. I'm not teaching it because I'm the only person who has this info. What I'm teaching is these years and years of gathering it together, synthesizing it, and creating a complete cohesive whole that I've done, right? So that's what I would encourage you to do too if you have a calling for it and a passion. All right, so first it was to determine your qualification. The second tip I have about creating online courses is, be unique. Now, if there are a billion of these same courses online, then it's probably not going to work. And again, don't just do this because it's something that you want to do to make a bunch of money, because you probably won't in the beginning make a bunch of money, period. It needs to be a calling. It needs to be a passion of yours. And if there's a bunch of other classes like this around, people probably aren't going to take yours. They're going to take the other ones. Or why would they take yours? Be unique. Have some kind of twist that's only yours. Have something that you haven't found other places, because like I said, if you can find other places, why create a duplicate? What's the point? Make something unique. And you are unique. We are all unique, which means you can very easily do this. Just be yourself and find what it is that inspires you personally. All right. Third tip for creating online courses is make it doable. Now, there are 2 ways to do this, 2 areas, First of all, so in school, in both high school and college, the instructors give copious, huge amounts of reading material and assignments. And personally, as someone who's been in academia and out of academia and seen what worked and what didn't in my life and in the people that I know, it's my opinion that the reason that they give these huge amounts of stuff that they know you're not going to be able to do. I went and asked my professors, I was like, are people really able to do this? And on the DL, they told me eventually, well, no, we know that you're not going to really have enough time to do it. It's just part of the system. You just kind of have to do that. It's a holdover from times where people who went to university, that's all they did. They were kind of a slave to this university, and then they could come out and say, I've been molded by this university system into what they wanted me to be by giving my every single waking and most of my sleeping hours to this process. But that's not the world that we live in, and that's certainly not what you're going to do if you're teaching an online course. You're going to be teaching it to people who have lives, have jobs, have families, have hobbies, have stuff that they already do. Because if they wanted to go take a university course, they would just go to university and take it. They wouldn't take your online course. Okay, so make it doable. And the second part of that is make it doable for you. Make it doable for you. Don't make it so big and give yourself so much of a workload that it stresses you out and depletes you of your energy. Because if you do, it's not going to work. It's going to be a cause of stress. You're not going to want to do it. You're going to eventually burn out. And usually if you're doing something that really stresses you out, purely financially, lucratively, it's not going to make you a lot of money. That energy is just going to drain right back out again. So yeah, make it doable. So it was determine your qualification. 2, be unique. 3, make it doable. 4, price wisely. And when I say to price wisely, again, my advice to you personally is don't price it like a university course. Don't make it that much money. It's you teaching this course. You don't have to pay overhead. You don't have to pay rent for your building. You don't have to pay TAs, assistants, and faculty and staff. You don't have to do all the things that university courses have to do. So look around at similar stuff. You're being unique here, so it's probably not going to be that you have an exact same course that you can just look up on the internet. But similar type things, similar type of course loads, similar type of subject, and see what they're priced as. By the way, something that I forgot to tell you in the Make It Doable. It's a practice of mine to make my courses take not more than 15 minutes a day for the students, because you remember things 2 ways. 1, repetition, which again, if people have busy lives, they're not going to be saying they're doing it all the time. And 2, through emotion, and I'll come back to that one in a minute. So again, your 4th one here is, what was the 4th one? I'm forgetting now. I'm going through all these pretty fast. Price wisely. So look at what similar courses are and price yours. I like to make mine really inexpensive. I like to make my courses inexpensive enough so that everyone can benefit from what it is I teach. It's just what I'm into. I know people who are very successful and who price their courses like 10 times, 20 times what mine are, and that's fine. They end up having less clients and working a lot of times more in depth with them. But my thing is, I feel like the courses kind of speak for themselves, so I'm cool with kind of just tossing them out into the world and making them available for lots of people to get. All right, so just price it wisely. Just remember that do your research and see what it is that people are paying, or because if it's too expensive, you're not going to have very many people, and the amount of work you're going to have to do is going to be really, really, really high because they paid a lot of money. They're going to expect a lot from you. And if they're too cheap, this is something that's really important for you to know that I've learned the hard way. If they're too cheap, people don't respect what you do. And also, they expect a ton from you because they're like, well, you gave me this course, and so now you need to do a bunch for me. You know, it's very interesting. There's a sweet spot, because you would think that wouldn't happen on both sides of the spectrum, but it does. There's a sweet spot in the middle that is not too much that people can't afford it who want to learn from you, and not too little that people don't value it. But right in the middle. How many free ebooks have you seen that you were not interested in getting? How many really, really cheap things have you not bought because you thought it wasn't worth your time or worth your money? So know that if you price them too low, it's not going to work. And if you price them too high, it's not going to work. So again, look at comparable stuff. Look at other people who you admire, what they're doing. And model yours after the things that you admire. Okay, finally, your 5th tip is connect. Connect, connect, connect. Now, back to what I was saying before, there are 2 ways people remember things. 1 is repetition, and 2 is emotion. Think about any given memory you have from when you were little or growing up or whatever. It's probably you were feeling something strong, either really intense happiness, pain, fear, anger, whatever, right? Now, I am the kind of learner who needed to sit in the front and center of every class because, like all humans, I have a bit of telepathy in me. All of humans do. It's part of being human. But I learned through eye contact. So if I were in the back of the class, I'd be doodling and not learning anything. I had to be in the front where I could look in my teacher's eyes and they would look in my eyes, and that's how I would learn. So the way I teach courses is through videos, because for me, that gives a lot more than writing these words would. I know things come through in my facial expressions. I know info comes through in my tone of voice and in my body language and stuff, and that's part of how I teach. But not everyone is like that. So for you, it might not be recording videos is how you're going to teach your course. For you, it might be that telling a personal story in your text is how you teach your course. For you, it might be live chats or live calls with your students. It can be really as unique as you are. So it doesn't really matter. The point is that you want to connect with the people who you're working with, because we're humans, and that's what we really want, and that's how you can bring your stuff to the next level rather than it just be dry information. Also, the second part of the connect tip is that a lot of people ask me how I do marketing. And honestly, I don't think I have ever bought an ad. I don't do classic marketing. I just figure, like I said before, if I have something I want to offer, then the universe is going to catch me and it wants me to do it, and it'll take care of me. But the way that I do think about the little bit of marketing I do, which is like mentioning things or posting a little post on Facebook or whatever that I'm starting to open up, whatever it is that I'm working on, is this. I want the people who are looking for what I do to be able to find me. People who don't want what I'm offering, I don't care if they know what I'm doing. Goodness knows I don't want to spam anybody and get them to send me thought bullets because I'm bugging them with what it is that I'm doing. I want to have good energy all the way around, so I'd rather just have it be that the people who are already wanting what I'm doing will find me. And to do that, you do things like look at the search words on the internet that people are searching about your similar field, and also ask people who are interested in what you're interested in what they would want. Something that is a huge tip that I took a long time for me to realize in doing this, and I've been teaching online courses for the past 4 years, and I've been teaching for the past 15 years or something. It's been a really long time. Is you may not be your client. I'm not my client. I don't buy online courses and I don't watch YouTube videos. Yet I record YouTube videos and teach online courses. So when I am trying to decide what to focus on, I don't necessarily know what my clients and my soul family who's interested in doing what I do, getting what I make, will want. I have to ask them. And so that's why you see me doing that sometimes, as you guys who follow me for a while, because I can't assume that I know what you want, because we're not the same. And you're not always the same as your client. Sometimes you are. Like with the jewelry that I sell from time to time, I know I sell things that I would want to wear. But with my classes, like I said, I don't take online classes. So just make sure you connect, and that will help. So again, determine your qualification, not whether you're qualified, but what your qualification is, because I know you have one. Secondly, be unique. Third, make it doable. 4, price wisely. And finally, connect. And I hope that helped you guys. Have fun with creating your online courses. The curriculum, just make it build on itself, take people through a little journey, make it fun for them, make it interesting, make it personable, and put your emotion, put your heart into it, because that's all we all really want, is to feel each other's hearts, right? And just so you know, I will eventually be teaching an online course, taking you through actually making one and actually putting it out and stuff, but that's not up yet right now. What is up until July 1st is all of my pre-recorded courses are on sale for $11.11 right now. They usually range from about $33 to about $111. So if you want to see what I do, now's a great time to kind of go to my website and see what's up and take a little sample. Anyway, much love. I hope you're having a beautiful summer and that you enjoyed the solstice, and I'll see you again very soon.